Let's dive into a topic that sparks a lot of debate: how to spot a fake service dog. I'm not a lawyer, but I've done my homework, and I'm going to break down the 2 foolproof methods. Before we get there, though, I want to ask you a question. Does a dog's behavior automatically tell you if it's a fake? If it's barking, jumping, lunging, is that a telltale sign? The answer might surprise you. Stick with me and I'll explain why. If you disagree after I've laid out the facts, then by all means share your thoughts in the comments below. But please hear me out first. My take on this lines up with the official federal government definition of a service dog. And even government sources acknowledge that real service dogs can sometimes be a little, let's call it, enthusiastic. I'll explain. The ADA defines a service animal as a dog trained to perform a specific task for someone with a disability, and that task has to be directly related to that disability. It's all about the task, not necessarily the perfect behavior. Think about it. Service dogs are not defined by their public behavior, although they can be asked to leave if they're disruptive. They're definitely not required to be silent. Some are trained to bark to alert their handlers. They're also not forbidden from sniffing. Allergen detection dogs have to sniff. And they're not necessarily glued to their handler's side 24/7. Some scan their surroundings for hazards or triggers. Plus, a service dog might be a little on edge if they've had a bad experience like being attacked by another dog in a store. That doesn't automatically make them fake. And get this, vests, leashes, and harnesses are not legally required. They can be too hot, or a handler might have trouble putting them on. And yes, service dogs can be in shopping carts. The ADA says generally they should be on the floor, but generally doesn't mean always. There are exceptions for handlers who can't carry the dogs but need them close for medical reasons. It's rare, but sure, it happens. I made a video explaining the service dog in shopping carts debate, which includes information about a lawsuit over it. Now, the government does say that service dogs shouldn't be disruptive, barking, running, jumping, lunging, unless provoked. But even a dog exhibiting some of this behavior could still be a real service dog if it's trained for a specific task. Think of a seizure alert dog that hasn't had public access training. It's still a service dog, even if it's a bit of a wild child in public. The ADA also says that if a service dog is out of control and the handler doesn't do anything about it, or if it's not housebroken, it can also be asked to leave for those reasons. But again, the animal, by law, is still referred to as a service dog, even if it's misbehaving. Under control means not barking repeatedly in quiet places like libraries. But a single bark, especially if provoked, doesn't mean that the dog is out of control. So, a service dog can be a real service dog, be out of control, and still be a service dog. It might be a misbehaving service dog or a partially trained service dog, but not public access trained. If it's not presented as a service dog, then it can't be a fake one. In that case, it's just a pet or an ESA that somebody brought in illegally. I mean, I get it. A dog that's going nuts in a shopping cart probably isn't a service dog. But we can't know for sure until we ask the right questions. There's always a chance it's a real service dog having a bad day because, yes, service dogs can misbehave. They're not robots. Okay, so we've established that a dog's behavior isn't the definitive answer. We've also debunked the myths about barking, sniffing, and even shopping carts. We've also seen how a real service dog can be a little rough around the edges. But that leaves the million-dollar question. If a dog's actions aren't the giveaway, how could you tell if a service dog is fake? The answer is simpler than you think, and it all comes down to 2 questions. So, how do you spot a fake? A fake service dog is one that's presented as a service dog, but isn't. It's a dog that the owner pretends is task trained when it's not. If the owner never claims it's a service dog, it can't be a fake one. It's just a pet or an ESA. So here's method 1. If the dog is wearing a service dog vest and the handler is asked, is that a service animal required because of a disability? and the owner says no, then it's 100% a fake. Method 2 is if the dog is wearing a vest and the handler is asked what task is the dog trained to perform and they can't name a qualifying task, then it's 100% a fake service dog. These are the only two ways to know for sure. I might suspect a misbehaving dog is a pet, but unless I have those answers, I can't know for sure. It might just be a disruptive service dog. What do you think? Any questions? Okay, now that you know how to spot a fake, let's tackle a serious dilemma. A person with a life-threatening dog allergy versus a person with a service dog. Both need public access in the same public space. Whose rights take priority? It's a complicated situation, and in my next video, I'm diving deep into this conflict, exploring real-world examples and examining potential solutions that could protect everyone involved. You won't want to miss this important discussion, and don't forget to subscribe.